WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have a single cask that's actually from an independent German bottler. It's Tullibardine, 14 years old, and it's from eSpirits, one word, whiskey, which has a brand name called Liquid Treasures, which has a website called dailydram, no S, dailydram.de, DE for Germany. All right, so you see a pinup girl on this one? Oh, yes. Some people like it, some people don't. That's the way it is. I actually bought 2 bottles. So the second one looks like this, but this is not going to be my comparison whiskey. It has its own video for this. Now, as I mentioned, 2014 to 2020, 2006 to 2020. So it's a 14-year-old whiskey. It's 58%. It was matured in a bourbon cask, and it cost 84 euros. A little bit on the pricey side, but maybe because of the label, maybe because of whatever. Whiskybase number WB178844, and there was a total of 95 bottles. Now, normally from a bourbon cask after 14 years, you should get twice that number. So I think this was a cask share. So someplace else in the world, you will find basically identical whiskey, I think, I'm not sure, but with a different label on it. Could happen, who knows. All right, so that's that. In my nice little book here about all the single malt distilleries there in Scotland, giving a moment in the glass to develop here, you actually have in the alphabet, it's actually the very last distillery. There are no distilleries after the Tullibardine in this book at this moment. Yeah, in this wonderful book here, had to change the battery, sorry. We actually have a little bit of history of the distillery. 1949 it was actually founded. Very interesting that it says here, the distillery was, the architect was William Delmay Evans. He founds the distillery, and then within 4 years, the distillery is sold to Brodie Hepburn. And then Brodie Hepburn is bought by Invergordon Distillers in 1971, and the number of stills are then increased to 4. So White and Mackay by Invergordon, and that was in 1993, and 1 year later, I love it, you buy the distillery, 1 year later you mothball it. I don't understand that one. 1993. All right, good. So 1996, White Mackay changed its name to JBB. 2001, JBB is bought by the so-called Fortune brand by management and changes its name. Then is bought out from the Fortune brand by management and changes its name to Kindle. And therefore, after that, it is actually becomes a French company, which is called Terroir Distillers, and it's Picard Vins and Spiritueux that take over and now run it. So I actually was there once at Tullibardine. They have 2 spirits, they have 2 wash stills at 21,000 liters each, and 2 spirit stills at 16,000 liters each. And during 2020, they were supposed to be working about 27 mashes a week so that they were producing the maximum of 3 million liters per liter annum that is possible. So when I was there, at the morning, I picked up Food Quake, yay, maybe you know him, in Edinburgh, and we drove up to Glengoyne. We visited the distillery together. We further up went up to Amdinston for lunch, where we met Roy from Aquavita. We had a wonderful, wonderful time up there at Deanston. Foodquake and Roy went back down to Glasgow, and I drove up then to the Speysides where I did my tour. On the way up, I saw Tullibardine, pulled over. I was about 5-ish. They closed at 5:30-ish, so I couldn't do a tour, but I did see a little bit and got to talk to a couple people. It's amazing the cooperage they have there. It's amazing the bottling line they have there. It's pretty cool what they have there with everything else going on there. That is a very, very interesting distillery, to be honest. All right, so on the nose, I'm going to pull out my comparison whiskey here. This is a signatory vintage single cask, 8 years old from Glencadam. It's at 62.4%. Why did I pick this? For 2 reasons. First of all, it's a bourbon cask matured. This is bourbon cask. It's above 58%. This is 62.4. This is basically about 60 some euros, 50 something, and this was 84, so much more expensive. But if you look at the color here, you can see a big difference between the two of them. So I'm going to guess, and even from my nose and from the palate, this might have been a first fill bourbon barrel. Why do I say that? Not just because of the color, because of the nose and because of the mouth, the palate, the taste. It's very oily and has a lot of wood, and there's nothing that actually hints at a tired old cask. Exactly the opposite. The wood is almost at the tipping point where some people might go, ooh, too much. I really, really like this. This I poured before the video. This is Glencadam is a wonderful whiskey itself. Now, this barrel, for some reason, was sold to an independent bottler, and I don't think that this has as much as the normal perfect flavor profile of a Glencadam. It is very, very soft. It is very, very vanilla and a little bit of a floral moment and nice little malt moments in there, but it's not really, really a wow whiskey. This, on the other hand, on the nose and on the palate, is actually almost a wow whiskey. This is going to be a B- whiskey. Yummy. Cheers. If I had a wish upon a star, I would like to have from every single distillery in Scotland a 14, 15-year-old cask strength first fill bourbon matured whiskey. And I like to compare them all. I go, okay, do I get the Tullibardine moment? Do I get the Glencadam moment? Do I get the Tomental moment? Do I get the Glenlivet moment? Do I get the Glenfiddich moment? Do I get the Glenfarclas moment? Every single Tamdhu moment. I know Tamdhu and I know Glengoyne and I know Glenfarclas are sherry matured whiskeys normally. But wouldn't it be cool to actually have all these whiskeys at the same age, almost at the same ABV, from the same type of barrels, and just have them and to be able to reference them as a type of library? Oh, I would really, really, really like that. What do you think? Would that be a good thing? And if it is, hey, who can we petition to do this? Which independent bottler? Gordon MacPhail, Glen, what was it here? Signatory Vintage, Liquid Treasures. Who would actually go out and find these barrels for us, fill them up, and give them to us as consumers? Well, we'll pay for them, of course. That would be really, really fantastic, I think. All right. So this is a 14-year-old. It could be a 15-year-old. But as I said, 95 bottles total on Whiskybase 178844 and 84 euros, which I do not regret. Beautiful, beautiful nose, beautiful palate. By the way, when you put water in it, it does break down a tiny little bit. The bourbon barrel gets a tiny little bit bitter towards the end with water, and it's actually best as it is at 58% in my personal opinion. Question of the day. What other bottlings do you know of from Tullibardine that you like? I like the 15-year-old. Tullibardine is not the best, but it's fairly good. The other ones, I think there's what, 500, and there's a 228, and I think a 225, and so on. Those are things I have had once or twice, but they didn't really capture my attention as much as some of the independent bottlers have with Tullibardine. Cheers. Very good, very good. Oh yeah, oh yeah. That oakiness, oaky sound, that wood, that we have an overripe cantaloupe. We have a little bit of glazed almonds. We have a little bit of a honey moment in there. This is just darn good whiskey, I must admit. So I'm going to give it a B minus. Value for money is going to be a C. C minus what I should give it, but a C. I like it so much, I'm going to give it a C. 94 bottles, sorry, 95 bottles. Good luck. Even today, they're sold out. There's nothing left anywhere. Now, you might find an auction here or there, but this is not one of the things you would like to have. Second question I have of the day, what do you think of these pinup girls on the bottles? I'm personally not a great fan of it, but hey, I might just be the wrong target group. Who knows? All right, Whiskey Jason here. Whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskey. The Glencadam is just a little bit too hot for me. I put some water in it. I'll put a little bit more water in it. Light cotton candy, vanilla malt. Here we have a darkness, complexity, a woodiness, the glazed almonds just really get me here. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Thank you very much for watching. All the best. Whiskey Jason here. Like, subscribe, tell others, and maybe even share this video on social media. That'd be great. That'd be super. All the best. Whiskey Jason. Bye-bye.